Hello everyone. This is a third lecture, third lecture of engineering economics course. That is an out of course 5. My name is Sandeep Yadav. So I'm starting today lecture 3, that is depreciation. Today we will learn how this concept works. What do you mean by depreciation, and how can we calculate by different methods. So starting with, what is depreciation? The reduction in the value of asset used to reflect remaining value of an asset over its useful life. Suppose you have bought something today, but after some time its value is getting depreciated. Whatever you have done means, suppose you have purchased a new laptop, but you have not used it over 5 years, but it is untouched or unboxed, you can say, but its value is getting depreciated by time. So with respect to time, if the value of that product is getting decreased, that is because of depreciation. In some factors, like if you are owning a company and you have some machineries and you are using it continuously rigorously, and after some time you see that it's not working, but you want to sell it. So your selling value of your machinery will be calculated by a depreciation. Here, fixed asset like machinery, plant machinery, etc., are used in business for purpose of production and providing services. With the passage of time and utilization, value of such fixed assets decreases. Like, there are two ways. One is book depreciation, and other is the tax depreciation. In the book depreciation used by corporates for internal financial accounting, that is done by the industry itself for their financial accounting. The second thing, that is tax depreciation. It is used in tax calculation in accordance to the government regulation. Suppose there's an industry which bought something for 10 lakh rupees, and they have to pay some hefty amount of tax, like 20% of tax to the government to the government. But now if they are showing that their machinery is getting decreased 30% per year, then they have to pay only 70% of tax. Means they are paying the tax whatever its original value. Same thing happens in the your insurance thing. Now, why is depreciation is important? Depreciation can lower your taxes. Similarly, that I've told you earlier. Taxes are equal to income value minus deduction into tax rate. So, suppose where one of the primary deduction is the depreciation. Here, depreciation will be deducted from here. Now, in other words, the use of depreciation can make you money by reducing the amount of tax you pay. Now, let's learn some definitions. The first thing here is first cost. What is first cost? First cost is the cost of purchasing and installing an asset. On real estate, the value of land is excluded. Here, suppose anything you buy or anything you operate, the first thing will be the purchase cost, or if some product having an installation cost, then it will be included. Other thing is book value. The remaining undepreciated capital of an asset, which is on the corporation's book, the first cost minus the sum of all depreciation taken. That means, suppose that in the first example that we have taken, after 1 year, after reduction of 30% depreciation, the book value will remain 70%. That's how it is calculated. Now, recovery period, depreciable life of an asset in year. There's a machinery that we have bought for 1 lakh rupees, and its lifetime is 5 year. It can operate up to 5 year. So we have to operate that 1 lakh rupees of work from that machinery. That will be caught. That will be a recovery period. That means a depreciable life of an asset. Market value, estimate of the value of an asset if sold in the open market, not necessarily the same as the book value. Suppose you are in a need of a money, you need to send some machinery or some asset in an open market. So the that value can depend on the situation, some other factors also, and it can vary as a book value, because at some time you can't sell to the potential buyers, and you can't get the some best deals. That's why its market value is not necessarily will be same as book values. Now the next definition will be depreciation rate. The fraction of first cost removed by the depreciation of each year. That is a depreciation rate. It sometimes it's already given like 20% or 30%. Sometimes you have to calculate. Other thing is personal property. It is allowed for depreciation, includes items such as manufacturing equipment, vehicles, computers, etc. Real property also allowed for depreciation, includes office buildings, warehouses, manufacturing facilities, etc. Please note that land is not depreciable. Land is land will always be remain same. Now, half year convention assume assets are placed in a service in mid-year. Suppose there's a machinery that got damaged, you have to fix it. So that asset will get depreciate in that time period also. So that can be calculated half year convention. Assume assets are placed in a service in a mid-year. Causes of depreciation. So then now let's come to the next slide, that is causes of depreciation. What are the things that can cause depreciation? What are the things that is degrading our values? Means our product values, or some what are the things that needs to be keep in mind while purchasing a product? Means we have to think, it, it is it will get depreciate by some faster rate. Suppose you buy some vegetable, it will depreciate in a day or two. If you buy an fan, it can depreciate in up to 6 months. If you buy a phone, it can depreciate up to its fixed value. So these are the things that can we can calculate. Now let's come to the causes of depreciation. So causes of depreciation will be the lapse of time. Of course, the major thing will be the time here. Other thing is the natural wear and tear. Now, in the natural uses, each and everything gets depreciated. The third is the exhaustion of the subject matter. Suppose the machinery that we have installed or we are using is not getting a work that is giving it the first use or in initial period. That can also act as a cause of depreciation. And the final thing will be the obsolescence of technology. That is, some technology will get uh, we get some new technology. We are not used. We're not going to use the same technology because it's not getting our productivity increased. That can also cause a depreciation. The exact example of that obsolescence of technology will be similar. Suppose in the 2000 year 16 or 17, when Geo came, uh, we can call it a 4G evolution. Each and every person, because of the lower rates of data and calling, wanted to shift to the 4G network because because of the competition. All other players other companies like Airtel, Vodafone, they are also bringing the same lower rates. So that we can say that obsolescence of technology. Suppose you have purchased a new mobile phone in the same period, but after some uses 1 year or 6 months, you have to change that phone because of the obsolescence of technology, because you wanted to get the same benefits that others are getting. So that can be an example of that obsolescence of technology. Now let's move to the objective of providing for depreciation. Here, to what is the objective? The objective is to ascertain the true result of operation. Why we have to calculate the depreciation? These things are here to ascertain the true values, true results of the operations. Means we want to live in a real world. We don't want to that think that our product is not getting depreciated. It's giving a best result. There is no technology update. So that's why providing depreciation is necessary to present true and fair values of the fixed asset and to accumulate funds for the replacement of the asset. If we will not bring depreciation, then we have to pay more taxes and it will not get us enough amount of money to get the replacement of the asset. Now, factors in measurement. Let's move on to the next slide, that is factors in the measurement. Here, estimation of exact amount of depreciation is not easy. Generally, following factors are considered in calculation of depreciation. So these are the following factors: cost of an asset, including expenses of the installation, estimated useful life, estimated scrap value. Scrap value is the value that is when you can sell in the some scrap like material at a time of useful life of an asset, if any. Suppose some product are not having any scrappage value, that will then we will not consider this, but this thing will be considered. Now let's move on to the next slide, that is how can we calculate these methods, how can we calculate the depreciation. So there are majorly four methods from which we can calculate depreciation. First one is straight line depreciation method. Second is reducing balance method, that can also be called RBM. Third is machine hour method, in which we will calculate the depreciation rate based on the working life or how much time machine is working. And the fourth one is production unit method. Here, the in the similar manner, how much products machine have produced, we have how much products machine produced, and here how much time machine run. So let's start with the straight line depreciation method. In a straight line depreciation method, an equal amount of money is written off. Written off means it will be deducted. Written off every year during the working life of an asset to nil or its residual value at the end of the useful life. But what does we mean? We can calculate this with this formula also. The underlying assumption of this method is that the particular asset generates equal utility during the lifetime. Here we are assuming that our machinery or our product is giving up equal amount of utility, means usage or service throughout its lifetime. So we are reducing the we are deducting the, or we can say writing off the depreciation in a equal manner. So from this method, depreciation will be cost of an asset minus scrap value upon useful life. So that formula we need to remember. So let's take an example. Suppose the cost of an machinery will be 18,000, installation charges are 2,000, useful life of an asset is 5,000, and we have to calculate the depreciation as per the straight line depreciation method. Now, depreciation will be that 18,000 plus 2,000, that is 20,000. That will be our cost of an asset. That sorry, that will be cost of an asset. Now, scrap value is not given. Whenever the scrap value is not given, we have to assume it as 0. So now depreciation will be 20,000 minus 0 upon 5, that is 4,000 per annum. That is per annum, or we can say per year also. Now let's move on to the second method, that is reducing balance method. Here for the first year, depreciation will be acquisition value, or we can say buy value. What we have into the depreciation rate, and this and the second year onwards, written down value, that is will be the same value. Here in the first method we are depreciating the equal amount. Here we are depreciating the, like, if we are taking a 10,000 and depreciation rate 25,000, from the first method it will remain 75,000, and for the second year onwards, 25,000 will be deducted in, like in this method. If one machine is having a value of 100 rupees, or some product is getting 100 rupees, and depreciation rate is 25%, then the on the after first year the depreciation will be 25. After in the second year depreciation will be 25, the third year depreciation will be 25, and the fourth year depreciation will be 25. But in this method, the depreciation rate will be calculated on the recent value, that is the acquisition value, and the second year onwards the written down value. Suppose here the if a product is costing 100 rupees, depreciation rate is 25%, then it will remain 75%. Now from the second year onwards, depreciation will be calculated from this value, 25% of 75, that you can say around 30 to 16.25, not 25. Okay, so let's take an example. Cost of an machinery is 50,000, scrap value is 5,000, useful life of an asset is 10 years, and depreciation rate will be 15% per annum. Calculate the depreciation as per the reducing cost method for the first 2 years. Now, for the first year, depreciation will be 15,000 into, for the first year, depreciation will be 15,000 into 15%, that will be 7,500 rupees. And for the second year, depreciation will be 42,500 into 15, that is 6,375 rupees. So that's a similar example that I've given. So now you understand it better. Now let's move on to the next method, that is machine hour method. In this method, where it is possible to keep a record of actual running hours of each machine, depreciation may be calculated on the basis of work hours worked. The machine hour rate of depreciation is calculated after estimating the total number of hours that machine would work during its whole life. Now, under machine hour method depreciation, depreciation is calculated for each hour the machine work. Now, let's take an example for this to get some more clarity. Here you can see cost of the machine is 5 lakh rupees, and estimated working hour is 40,000. Scrap value is 10,000 rupees. And the pattern of distribution of effective working hour is from year 1 to 2, 5,000 per year, year 3 to 5, 7,000 per year, and year 6 to 8, 3,000 per year. Now we have to compute depreciation per annum. So let's calculate from this. For the year 1, we can say the depreciation is 5,000 upon 40,000 into 5 lakhs minus 10,000. This we have calculated from the, and the depreciation will be 61,250 per annum. And for the year 3 to 5, similarly, the depreciation in hours is 7,000. Estimated working hour is 40,000, and this thing will be the similar. Like in this method, we are calculating on the basis of hour spent in a year. So from that, we have to calculate number of hours spent upon total life in hours multiplied by the depreciable depreciable value. So let me write down here depreciation per annum will be number of hours spent per year upon total life in years into depreciable value. Then that means book value minus the depreciable value will be here, right here. Depreciable value will be cost minus scrap value that I have already written in the. Now let's move on here. Let me No. So, in a similar fashion, we have calculated for the year 1 to 2, that is 61,000 250. For the year 3 to 5, it's 85,750. And for the 6 to 8, it is 36,750 rupees. So, that's how machine hour method works. Now, let's move on to the production unit method. In this method, in this method, depreciation is determined by the comparing annual production with the estimated production rate. Here, in the similar manner, like we have machine production, here we are computing the annual production rate to the estimated production rate. Now, that will be like same here, only the that in the previous here the number of hours and the total hours and total hours of life. It is the same thing that we have done previously. Now the amount of depreciation is computed by the using the this formula. Now let's move to the example, that is cost of the machine is 30,000, estimated total production is 4,000, scrap value is 2,000 rupees, and the pattern of distribution is for the year 1 2,000, for the year 2 1,500, for the year 3 500. Now let's calculate for the each year. Depreciation is 2,000, that is the 2,000 is the production rate upon 4,000 into the depreciable value, that is 30,000 minus 2,000, that will remain same. Here in the each year we have just have to change the pattern of production. For the year 1, depreciation will be 14,000, for the year 2 depreciation will be 10,500, for the year 3 depreciation will be 3,500. Now we have learned what is the depreciation is. Now let's move on to the provision. So provision is a liability which cannot be measured with a substantial degree of accuracy. It is a liability is a now we have to learn what is liability. And liability is a present obligation of an enterprise arising from past events, the settlement of which is expected to result in an inflow of uh, outflow of resources. That means some companies having a liability, that is in kind of loan, or that company needs to pay some amount, or they have to deliver some product to them, that's called a liability, that you can say some loan or something. Here where the liabilities are known but amount cannot be precisely determined, we estimate for liability and provide for it. The principle of conservatism supports making of provisions for in a probable for the probable liabilities. Examples for that is product service warranty cost, bad debts, change in foreign exchange rates, In case of international tradition, like provisions will be you bought a product and you have to sell it to someone else, then the warranty cost, or you have some taken some debt that you have to pay. Let's take some more examples in this. Uh, a company has purchased an equipment whose first cost is 1 lakh rupees with an estimated life of 8 years. Now, the estimated salvage value of an equipment at the end of its lifetime is 20,000. So now you can calculate what is the depreciable value, that is 80,000 rupees. Now determine the depreciation charge and book value at the end of various years using the straight line method of depreciation. Now compute the depreciation and the book value for period 5. So this is the example of straight line depreciation method. Let's calculate it. Here present book cost is 5,000. Scrap value is, that is book value, that is scrap value, that is life. Now you can calculate depreciation for the year. Depreciation is depreciable value, that is 80,000 upon 80, that is 10,000 rupees. In this method, the value of DT remains same for all years. The calculation pertaining to DT for different values of a TR summarized in the table. Let's take an example, that is a book value. We have to calculate the book value for each year. Here BT refers for the book value. Now let's see here at the each year is denoted as a T, depreciation is denoted as a DT, and the book value is BT, that is BT minus 1 minus DT. For the year 0, book value will remain 1 lakh rupees. For the year 1, book value depreciation will be 10,000, book value will be 90,000. In a similar way, because the depreciation is constant throughout all the years, we have to just deduct the depreciation, that is 10,000 rupees. And at the year 8, the book value will remain at 20,000 rupees. If now we have to compute the depreciation for the book value of period 5. Here, depreciation will be for the book value for the period 5. Here it is written, if we are interested in computing DT and BT for the specific period that we have asked for the year period 5 period, after 5 period. The formula can be used in this approach. It should be noted that depreciation is same for the all periods. Now for the period 5, sorry, for the period 5, we can calculate the book value, that is BT is equal to P minus T into P minus F into N. Oh, sorry, divide by N. So here we can calculate from this formula. Time period is 5. Then it will be 50,000. We can directly see the depreciation for this period, that is directly from this table also, but if you want to calculate from the formula, we can calculate in this way. Now these are the references that I've used to make this lecture. You can follow this book, or you can follow this book also. Now let me summarize the whatever the things that we have learned today. The first thing that we have learned today is what is depreciation, followed by why it is important, why we have to calculate. Now you're able to answer all the questions that why depreciation is necessary. Like for the for tax savings or source of the for getting the actual values of the products. Here we have learned all the basic definitions that we have used in the uh, numericals, and here are the definitions, some more definitions. What are the causes of depreciation? What is the objective for providing any depreciation? Factors in measurement, what we have to consider, all the factors needs to keep in mind. And we have learned that these all four methods: straight line depreciation, reducing balance depreciation, machine hour method, and the production unit method. We have solved all the examples for each case. Apart from that, we have learned one thing that is called a provision, and we have done few more examples related to this depreciation. In the next lecture, I will start from the what is the cash flows, how we can calculate the cash flows for the each year, or for the how can we calculate the present worth, future worth, what is this thing. So let's end this lecture here. Thank you.